background.
All right, I will just try to be as in-depth as possible, so for the viewers on your channel, they understand as well what is going to happen. So what is happening, guys? DemEyesRed here. I'm being joined by the big Nabovsky, aka Nobody41, and we are here. And currently, for the first game of the day, Sunday it is, week number 3, and Nicov versus Yo. And the first game is on Bark Arabia. Yo has the Kells, interestingly, and Nicov the Mayans. Nicov to the north has a nice map, somewhat. He has the woodline to the back and some resources to the left that he tries to currently save with some ambitious palisade walling. That looks quite interesting for sure. To the south, we have Yo with the Kells, as said. And his base also quite okay when it comes to the woodlines, but all the resources that he has, besides that, namely stone and gold, are to the front. And therefore, will be quite interesting to see how he's going to try to protect that one. You should maybe consider being as aggressive as possible. Currently also already building the barracks here, as we can see. So that's going to be a Kells M&A by the looks of it. And Nicov at the same time to the north, currently just considering the walling as a matter to deal with.
Alright, I'm back, Demeyes. So I couldn't figure it out. I'm just going to do monitor capture with capture agent. So we're all good.
Okay. Sounds good. Perfect then.
Alright, so we have a matchup, Yo and Nicov. Are you aware of where they're at the standings right now?
Yes. And that is actually both of them having a win and a loss as far as I can remember.
Okay, so they're both in the middle of the pack. I believe you need 3 wins to be able to advance to the next series. So chances are one of these players are probably going to advance and the other are not. Of course, it could, both might not advance or both might advance. But that's the way things are looking right now, just based off probabilities. So this win is going to be extremely important for both players.
Indeed, indeed. That's going to be quite interesting to see it. Because it will be quite comfortable for them then. Otherwise, they would have a tough time in the last weeks to deal with this very situation that they would be in. So as you said, in the middle pack as they are. And Yo now going for the next stage as assumed with a 21 villagers and now even marching forward. And we have this interesting situation once again. Man-at-arms and towers, something I don't appreciate too much to see, but we don't see the classical numbers of 5. Normally we see 3 in this tournament, but this time it's going to be 4 villagers. So yeah, towers and man-at-arms, which is quite adequate if we see that Nicov, who has walled up, is probably going to go for a fast castle here. Really ambitious walling, even going for double palisades. Wow.
Yeah, I think we've been seeing more of a defensive playstyle from Nicov in a lot of this. In a lot of the more recent tournament games. If there's one player I don't want to see come forward with villagers, and I know would be pretty effective with it, it's definitely Mr. Yo. So I would be pretty scared if I saw this and scouted this from Nicov. However, let's take a look at Nikov's map. He does have his gold and stone safely secured in the back, so I would guess that Nicov, if he needed to, could just go feudal age. We'll see if he continues to do this fast castle build, but it is a risky one.
It's a risky one indeed, because this kind of walling that he has in front of his TC is really close to the TC, and therefore a tower could be quite harmful, meaning that it could very well have an impact on the fast castle. But Nicov seems to actually be interested in going for this fast castle build because he's desperately going for double walls here.
Oh, Mr. Yo, what are you doing? He's losing his men-at-arms! Oh god!
Oh my god, man, already one M&A down. Those are valuable units that you don't want to lose. But one is already down, the other one nearly down as well. It's not a good start, quite sloppy.
Oh, I have to point out something. This is the first game I've used. There's a new mod for Enhanced Blood. As soon as that Man-at-Arms died, just his whole chest exploded. It looks glorious. Highly recommend it.
Nice, man. You got them gore upgrades. Yeah, I heard of it today. It was the release, or yesterday. Enhanced Blood number 2, finally available on Vubi. That's a great thing. And we also see that Yo has built a dock in front of the base of Nicov, so that is going to be interesting. Probably he's going to go for a demolition raft once he has the resources for that one. We're going to see stonewalling by Nicov at the same time. Man, oh man, it's quite some walling here.
Well, I think we can see what Nikov's strategy is. It looks like he's probably going to try to tower up and then go for plumed archers. I think it can work because he's got his defensive tower up on the right side. As long as he can hold Mr. Yo out of his base and keep protecting his golden stone, I see no way for Mr. Yo to be able to prevent plumed archers from coming out, and they're such a strong unit for the Mayans. So I think Mr. Yo really wants to get inside these walls. Maybe that dock is going to be the key with the galley coming out.
Indeed, a galley instead of anything else. That is could be quite interesting. Just for everyone to know, in this very tournament, there is a nerf concerning the ships. So the Navy, especially the galleys, do not receive attack upgrades from the blacksmith, but only the range upgrade. So they are not super strong, but they still have the advantage of gaining more range once you get fletching, bodkin arrow bracer, and so on. Just for your information. But that is that. The galley is now done and about to spread out. Let's see if it's going to go in there, attacking a villager, but now backing off once again. And Yo at the same time now focusing on the left-hand side. Needs to be careful not to lose more units. Tower is up, but Nicov still seems very safe.
This is a good pickup from Yo. It looks like Yo's going to kill the scout of Nicov, and that's so valuable because you need to... Nicov needs to know where the walls are for Yo, if he's going to plan something else, that kind of stuff. But it looks like Nicov eventually will be able to get a castle up. Fortunate for Yo, Yo has forced up 2 towers of Nicov, keeping Yo's stone count nice and low. And hopefully, Yo can be able to force up another tower or 2 to delay that castle.
I think that is very important what you've just said, because he must actually trigger him into more towers. I mean, 2 towers is already good, not to underestimate this. But Nicov is now reaching Castle Age at a quite decent time for a naked fast castle, 1620. That is definitely okay. Meaning that he just needs the stone now, and then he needs to go for the castle, and that's pretty much it. Easier said than done. We'll see, because Yo now with another tower. Let's see if it's going to trigger Nicov into more towers, but I'm not so confident in this one yet.
I really don't like this tower. It's within range of the other tower, but if you look slightly more to the left, you see a single layer of palisade. That would be so easy for Yo to get in, and if Yo got in, that would be an absolute disaster for Nicov. But instead, Yo's focusing on getting that tower up. We'll see if Yo's going to go through that thin layer of palisade now.
Yeah, well, that's going to take a lot of time. So we'll see how this is going to go. I'm not so very sure, because I think Nicov will still be successful. If we look at the stone count, it is now down to 70. There we go, to 20. And that is due to the fact that the castle is now in the making. Interesting position, but probably the best choice, just to make sure that Yo definitely needs to retreat from that spot. And now the question is, what is Yo gonna do if Nicov is up with the castle?
Well, first thing, Yo needs to get up to the castle age. He's getting the resources, but still hasn't clicked. It's looking pretty poor for Yo. I assume Yo will probably tower his main resources back at his base. And then after that, I don't know, maybe siege or skirmishers, but first things first, he needs to get up to the castle age.
Yeah, that is for certain. Absolutely correct. I mean, looking at the resources, Yo definitely needs a few more seconds until he can click up. That's going to give Nicov a nice time advantage, meaning that he can actually save up enough resources to even go for fletching and bodkin arrow, and then spread out and still be ahead in time in comparison to Yo here. But we'll check it out. The first plumes are now in the making. That's just the normal drill with the Mayans. Later on we will see the upgrades. But a good question is what kind of unit composition Yo is going to go for. As you said, it is possible Siege and Skirms. It could be working, but for now the plumes are spreading out.
Yeah, we're, you know, didn't mention it, but just some demo ships. Maybe the demo ships are going to be the answer.
Well, yeah, one is in the making. It could be quite interesting. Then again, though, demo ships have received a nerf as well in the last week of MSC.
Yeah.
They've now have decreased speed, if I recall correctly, right?
Yeah.
So this is one thing. Let's see how much it is going to matter. For now, though, it is maybe a good thing not to produce any further galleys, at least for now, or not to engage with them, because they are now failing to the plumes, now with fletching and moving forward to the base of Yo.
I think so far this attempted aggression from Yo has been about as poor as it can possibly get. Nicov has defended it very well. He's gotten the castle up, didn't change the strategy of Nicov at all, and Nicov is in a pretty commanding position this game.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Eamon says something really important. Don't like the demos because Plumes will most likely just micro them, and that is possible. I mean, as we know, if you got the Mayans, if you got the Plumes, if you are skilled enough with the micro, you can actually do a lot of great things. Avoid being killed by Siege or even demos in this case. We'll see how this is going to be like. Yo is now on the way to the castle age, and I'm curious what he's going to do because he's not building any further military building. He has the barracks up, obviously, but it seems that he might just want to consider a siege workshop and then do his thing like that. We'll see. He's still on stone as well, so we gotta watch out what is going to happen. The demolition rafts are now about to go in there. One explosion, one down, two plumes down, but that is all.
Yeah, the thing about the demos is that I think that Yo is so far behind in this game that he needs to get a demo hit, and that might be the only way he's able to come back. Of course, it's kind of a crap shot, but otherwise you're hoping that maybe some Celts, Mangonels are going to get some good hits, and that's also kind of a crap shot, so tough position for Yo.
For sure, for sure. I'm really asking myself why he chose the Kells, especially for this game, knowing that his opponent has chosen Mayans. So we'll see. He's going to go for War Galleys and Botkin Arrow. That is also something you can do. You just avoid the contact with the Galleys and Field Age. You mass up if possible and go for War Galleys and Botkin Arrow. It might be worth a shot, especially as long as Nicov doesn't have Botkin Arrow, as we can see. It might be a nice advantage to have the range on your side, but we'll see for how long he's going to have that kind of advantage.
Well, a larger problem for late game is that the Celts don't even get Bracer on their Galleons, so that's not going to be a long-term solution either. Nicov is currently, 15 villagers ahead, has a larger army, a more powerful army, and has a better late game composition with the castle already out. So there's a lot of advantages going for Nicov, and I just don't know what it's going to be late game, or how this.
For sure.
Where's the area for Mr. Yo to come back?
I mean, you're right. I didn't even pay attention to it, but dude, even now that you've just finished your sentence, we're now talking about the 20 villager difference between the two. That's actually quite remarkable with Nicov. So he's been able to go for a fast castle, go for some demanding castle here, get him up and produce plumes, but at the same time still managing a quite nice economy here. I mean, obviously he has the obligatory non-existent wheelbarrow, as we know from Aftermath players, but, you know, that's their style, I guess. That's another story for another day, but, you know, I still think you're right by saying that Yo has a limited range of possibilities here to face the very situation that he's going to be in.
Yeah, and any normal balance, these galleons would be, these war galleys would be so strong, you'd think Yo have a good chance because of that. And maybe they are still strong, but from my experience in this tournament, I don't think they're going to be the best option.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that is obviously not going to work as easily. Nicov is just now avoiding the contact, retreating with his army to the right-hand side. And besides that, Yo maybe wants to use the situation, goes for some attempted counter raid by attacking this university for now. Maybe wants to just go in there with his war galleys, but I'm not so confident that this is going to be successful because Nicov still has the mobile units. He could go for a counter raid himself at any point, any time in the game. So that is going to be tough for Yo to actually build up enough pressure to take over the control of the game, especially being so much behind in economy. That's going to be a tough one, man.
Well, Yo is exerting some sort of presence on the map as those plumed archers of Nicov are scared of Yo. However, the plumed archers are coming in just at the right time, and they may be able to deny this town center and kill maybe, one villager.
Well, better than nothing. There was at least some kind of distortion here. Why not? Why not? The war guy is still not able to march forward because of the university. I assume that as a siege workshop, indeed, Yo is now going for some more aggression. That is probably the good idea here. At the same time, the plumes are now engaging as well on the left-hand side. Nicov tries to get Yo's attention. We'll see where this is going.
So it looks like Yo's going to finally be able to get that town center up. Yo really banking on the power of these galleons. It's just really hard because Nicov can also switch to plumed archers now that he has a strong economy. I think the plumed archers, they have a good pierce armor, and the war galleys, of course, don't have as much attack as they normally would. And Nicov is already walled as well, so again, really hard game. But if this does somehow make it to late game, I would like to see Yo maybe go for a few castles and a few woad raiders. Already has 485 stone in the bank, so it might be a possibility.
Yeah, that might work. That might work. For that one, a lot of other things need to happen as well, but it's going to be a tough one because Nicov now on the way to Imperial Age. That is already another disadvantage that he's going to have, because if we look at the resources of Yo here, is he close to clicking up at some point? Well, doesn't seem like it. He has now spent all of his resources, food resources. He has a lot of gold on the bank, interestingly. Asking myself where this is going. Maybe he wants to buy his access to Imperial Age because he has a lot of gold now. But we'll check it out. Not so sure, because Nicov now with another advantage with Imperial Age that early on. Another castle now being added to the game. More fortification for his entire base. That is looking quite good for him. It will be a tough time for Yo to actually reach that late game, but we'll see.
Yeah, the problem with buying your way to Imperial Age is the Celts, it doesn't really offer you anything. If you want to go for Siege Rams or Wood Raiders, you need a big economy. If you wanted to go for Galleon, you won't get the Bracer upgrade. So it's really not worth as much as it possibly could be. And I'm just wondering, as soon as Imperial Age comes in and Bracer comes in on these Plumed Archers, Elite Plumed Archer happens, what will be the counter to that?
Yeah, what will be the counter to that? So, well, you can try Woes and Siege Rams, as Eamon says, but, well, as you said, this is going to require a lot of good economy here that Yo currently doesn't have. With 80 villagers, that's at least something, but still a 20 villager lead, solid 20 villager lead for Nicov, and he's not going to give this away. As we know, Nicov is quite a booming monster, probably the best boomer of Aftermath in that very concern. Despite this wheelbarrow thing, but still, he's still doing it. We'll check it out. But what I like to see from Yo now is this kind of forward dish castle in the middle, just to gain more ground, so to speak. Interesting choice by Nicov to sit there on the hill and take a lot of shots by the galleys at the same time. Not so good, but not game decisive, because as we see, the Plumes are still doing a lot of damage on this hill, enjoying the upper hill advantage. Still getting a lot of free shots.
What is Nicov doing? He would win this fight decisively if he just targeted the Galleons, but they've been getting hit for the last 30 seconds.
Wow, that was strange, to say the least. Well,
oh man, is this castle going to get up? It's 96%. Again, Nicov not paying attention. Could have denied that castle.
It went up, man. It went up. Damn. It could have been so crucial, actually. He could have focused on this fight with the Galleys. He could have denied this castle. Didn't work. He's giving Yo quite some chances here.
Not the best micro from Nicov, obviously focusing on his mega boom right now, 110 villagers. But this castle from Yo, that's the best thing that I see going for him. That's going to buy him some time to think of a strategy to get up to Imperial Age. And yeah, just that castle on a hill is going to really buy him some time. I don't anticipate he'd be able to defend it. Maybe he would. You know, he's got Celts trebuchets on top of the hill, but he's going to have to buy a lot of time between then. But it gives him a good chance, and the engagement on the right looks pretty good for Mr. Yo.
At least for now, that is for certain. So as you said it, the trap is now in the making, on the way actually unpacking at this point for Nicov. So this castle, as you said, it might go down, because Yo is not in Imperial Age yet. That's going to be a bit tough. Nicov going for Elite Plumed Archers at the same time. Now Nicov is taking control once again. He's forcing the fight to happen on the left-hand side. Especially now with villagers of Nicov marching forward as well. I assume that they're going to drop another castle to the middle as well. No, it's just going to be a shy little innocent mining camp for the sake of more stone. Interesting. At the same time, Yo going for masonry, handcart. As you said, it's not enough time for Yo, but he needs the time.
Well, unfortunately, Yo's not really repairing this castle with all the villagers. I don't see what the point of getting masonry is if you're not going to repair the castle.
Yeah. Not true as well.
But if he repaired this castle could stay up for a very long time.
Yeah, at least for now, as long as there are only 2 trebs, it could work. But there's, now we see the villagers, which is a bit too late in my opinion. Definitely late, but he's going to go there. He has 6 villagers to repair it. We'll see how long he can just maintain this castle to be up. 3rd trebuchet being added as well. Obviously, Yo is trying to go for Imperial Age as soon as possible. Probably even going to go for a trebuchet for himself, but besides that, I only see more and more navy. That is his way of dealing with the situation, I guess.
And Yo actually going to pick up the 4th relic. I think this could be very strong. Eventually, in late game, the economies could even up and Yo could be left with more relics. But, you know, he's got to survive until then. And it looks like that castle is going to go down with the 3rd trebuchet on the way. Nicov is going to go for a raid. Is this going to be a big moment in this game? Are these Plumed Archers going to get a huge raid, or are they all going to get destroyed?
well, potentially they can get a lot of villagers like that if you just micro it correctly, if you just don't let them die. But the navy is now chasing. Is that the entire navy of Yo? I'm just asking myself. Not maybe the entirety. Oh my god! And also on the in the middle of the map, three mangonels down for Yo. He's trading really badly here. Plumes are doing a lot of damage there as well. Ships are going down, mangonels are going down, and the raid is still not
Oh
being
my
dealt
god!
with.
Those plumed archers take no damage at all.
Yeah, man, it's unbelievable, this nerf. The Galleons only have 8 attack, to be frank here, right? So that legit doesn't do anything, especially if you have plumed archers with +4 pierce armor. Man, they don't even care. Look at these plumed archers. It's GG. Wow, man.
Oh my god.
Awful.
Oh my god. So I think this game is pretty much just summed up with that failed early aggression by Yo.
Yeah.
And just a good defense by Nicov. It pains me to watch Nicov win in this style.
Yeah.
But there was nothing Yo could do against that. And I think maybe Yo had an opportunity to break through the palisade on the left, but maybe just made one small error and wasn't able to get through the walls, and that was it. So hello everyone, welcome to second game in this series between Yo and Nicov. Nicov taking the first game in a pretty... in a pretty defensive fashion, let's put it that way. So Yo really didn't have the chance to show off his patented aggression. I'm joined here with DemEyesRed, longtime friend, and yeah, we've got a Malians and Malay matchup. What do you think about these civilizations or this map?
It is very interesting. It is very interesting, to say the least. So Malay is probably more straightforward. Due to the fact that it really suits the entire theme of having a water map. You can progress to the next age faster, and late game can be also interesting with thalassocracy. We'll get there potentially. Malians, though, is another very interesting thing. So Malians are the so-called new Persians when it comes to maps where you need to drop a dock as soon as possible, due to them saving enough woods to get there really fast. So that is maybe one thing. Maybe he wants to get to water as soon as possible. Not so sure how this is going to work, but it's a very versatile civilization. Potentially can offer a lot of solutions to what the Malay can do in the meantime, but we'll see what Nicov is going to do with the Civ that he has. He can either attack really aggressively in the beginning or go to the late game as soon as possible. We'll check it out. What are your thoughts?
I personally am a big fan of the Malay. I think players have been able to maximize their bonuses with the Malay a little bit more so than when the Malay first came out, and certainly this kind of map very much favors a rush because the rush distance is so small. I'm sure players will see that. I did want to point out one of the big things that I always thought of when I thought of Bog Islands is seeing those huge demo shots onto the villagers and the villagers not being able to survive when any sort of galleys come in, making it very a game that can change just in a matter of seconds. But with these galley nerfs, I'm not sure we're going to see that. And look at this villager from Yo!
Insane, man. First blood right away. First blood right away. I just witnessed it while we were talking. It's so impactful. So that's the reason why you go for Malians, right? You want to drop that early dock, but all of a sudden you lose a villager like that. That is a huge issue now. It's going to have a huge impact on the game like that. Really unfortunate. Well done by Nicov spotting this one that easily. Was actually good timing there. The dock is up now, but for the sake of one villager, bad trade. Bad trade.
Man, yeah, again, that is such a huge loss for these players. It's one villager down as far as economy. The dock will be up later, and now fishing ships will be out later for Yo as well. Especially when you're going to have to go against the Malay rush, where they'll be up to the next age much sooner. With those 3 rhinos, it's going to be really tough in this early game for Yo.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
And what is Yo doing? He's coming forward with the unloomed villager still.
What is he doing?
Oh god!
Man? I mean, as you said, an unloomed villager. That must be some toxic.
Oh, it got past the scout though. That's so lucky.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. He's dropping a forward barracks, as we can see.
Oh my god! Holy crap! This is so high stakes.
Yeah, high stakes, very high stakes. It's super risky. Oh my god, Ben Nicov now as well here, but he does have some loom. Therefore, the scout cannot engage that easily. Just going to be annoying, trying to get Nikov's attention here. As long as he can just delay this house, the barracks will remain unseen. But I'm just asking myself what the bigger picture is. Does Yo want to go for a trash push? He's on gold now, so he might want to consider something else here. Looks super interesting.
Oh, thank goodness Yo finally got Loom. That's just...
Yeah.
That's me on edge for him not getting Loom for some reason. But that barracks is up. Nicov is finally going to see it. It's a little bit late as this militia is already halfway built. Is Nicov going to be able to wall this up in time? Going to get up these gates? It might be too late.
Not possible, not possible. I mean, at least for now. The first militia is in. We have a villager, we have a scout, and Nicov now already preparing a tower here. So good aggression by Yo, already triggering his opponent into building this tower. But this tower might also solve a lot of issues because Yo's now retreating, as we can see. 2 militias, 1 scout, and 1 villager. Asking myself where exactly this is going to go.
Yeah, I think that's a win. Getting your opponent to build a tower. Looks like Yo's going to just build an outpost, and... From here, I don't know where Yo goes. Maybe he's going to go back on water. Man, this is a tricky position.
Now, I'm asking myself how much of a worthy situation that this is for Yo. As I said, it is a win to trigger your opponent into a tower. But besides that, I'm asking myself what this army is going to do now. Because they're actually outside of the base. Probably it's going to try to attack somewhere else. This 1 villager is still determined to drop a tower at some point. This 1 villager tower rush that we know from KOTD times. Let's see if that's going to happen. Besides that, the remaining army of Yo may be interested in harassing the fishing boats. And that is about it.
Something I just noticed on this map, the middle only has these really tiny fish, and now these fishing ships are going to have to come out a little bit into this amphibious terrain. So these militias will be very useful if they're able to stay alive.
If they're able to stay alive, because, I mean... The men-at-arms being chased by a fire galley, that's already not so good, but Yo is now retreating to the mainland, still engaging here, attacking the galley. Okay, interesting.
Doing some good damage.
Yeah, dude, indeed. I mean, Nicov nearly lost his boat there. Interesting. Question is now, though, what is Yo gonna do next? So he's building that 1 tower to the left-hand side, which is not the most efficient one. Interesting situation. The 1 villager just
what the heck?
Okay, but it didn't
she's gonna get away, though.
Yeah. Oh my god, man.
God, and what is this wheelbarrow from Yo, too? Such an early wheelbarrow.
Wow, that's a Viper-esque wheelbarrow. He did that in KOTD 2, interestingly. Not so sure where this is going. It's interesting. It's not the typical orthodox type of style to do that. Absolutely correct by saying this, by pointing this one out. But okay, I guess that is going to happen. Besides that, we just see that both pairs now producing... Oh, they just have 1 fire galley each, and that is all for now. Interesting. Nicov now building a barracks himself. Ask myself where exactly he wants to go with all of this. Also another dock for him.
I think Yo had a very poor opening with losing that villager, but I think he's made the most of it. So now he's got a 2nd tower from Nicov up in the north. I think really making those men-at-arms worth it. I saw Yo destroying one of the galleys of Nicov and defending his fishing ships very nicely.
Yeah.
But then bringing the fire galley back towards the tower, and now he's repairing it up.
Yeah. So that is very interesting. As you said, he actually made the best out of the very situation. I guess that is a good thing to say.
Look at the eco upgrades.
I mean,
that's big.
I mean, do you mean the eco upgrades of Nicov, the non-existent ones, or do you mean all the ones
just look
that
at the difference.
Let me just see, man.
That's huge.
Damn, man. Yo has quite some gold income, first of all. A lot of gold income. And besides that, though, villager count is sick, though, right? I mean, okay, Yo has wheelbarrow, but Nicov has a lot of additional villagers there.
Yeah, that is true. There's men-at-arms trying to get in under that town center, and it looks like Yo's going to try to place another tower, maybe force Nicov to build another one, and they're both going to build towers in the same place.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Yo doing a good job here, triggering his opponent into more and more towers here. That's wonderful. That's going to hinder Nicov from achieving too much with the Civ that he has that is able to go for the next stage that fast. It's not going to be as fluent for the melee in this game, it seems. So it's some good Malian's aggression, I would say. But so far, just 1 tower, if I'm correct here, from Yo.
Man. I'm loving Yo's place. If he gets this tower up, that's going to be great. Unfortunately, one of the men-at-arms is going to go down. And let's see who wins this galley fight. Critical moment.
check it out. It seems that Red will lose this one for now.
Yeah.
Especially with the home advantage, because Nicov can just reinforce easier. But all of a sudden, same amount of bolts. The third one now being added by Nicov. Yeah, Yo is trying it. It's a good attempt, but two things have happened. First of all, Navy fight lost for Yo, and also the tower is gone.
Yeah, that's a big Navy fight to lose. Losing a lot of value in his army. I did like Yo earlier in the game. Did move his fishing ships back to the tower, saving them. So that's the second time he's moved to that tower and saved them. Now Yo going with an archery range. And Nikov's going to place an outpost there, which may see it.
Oh, won't be able to see it. Just miss it there. I mean, quite some tiles. Interestingly, blacksmith and archer rangers, so we will have them archers with fletching very soon. There are demolition rafts now. Good choice by Yo. I think that is quite nice to see that. So we'll see if Nicov is going to find out about this hidden base of Yo to the right hand side. Just missing it once again. And therefore, well, I think Yo is going to have some more chances to apply more pressure. With archers, he can go beneath the towers, let him stay there and still harass the villagers, the surrounding villagers. It can work. We'll check it out.
I really wish... I think Yo's been playing this game pretty well as he could since losing that villager, but I really wish he focused a little more on creating villagers and making sure his villager production is stable, because he's very far behind. Much farther behind than he should be.
You're right, man. Dude, he doesn't produce a single villager at this point, man. I'm just looking at his TC now. He still doesn't click on it, man. There we go. Wow, at least minimum 20 seconds, man. Insane. Okay, that's quite some bad economy there, therefore. I mean, he might have all the upgrades and Nicov just with double bit X here. But yeah, still. Yo is neglecting his economy to the fullest for the sake of the aggression. For that one, he must succeed. He must kill villagers. He must harm Nicov as much as possible to make it worth it. But we'll see where this is going. The archers now going to the north, which is the wrong decision from our perspective, as we can see. Potentially, because the tower is going to go up at the wood line on the right hand side for Nicov. The archers might get this one villager. That is at least something, but more is needed.
Yeah, just some unlucky plays from Yo. Yo is probably gonna... No, he's gonna go back. Those villagers are so weak. I think in this matchup, the Fire Galley should be able to take care of the archers. I hope that Yo just doesn't lose all of his army. And it's gonna save that villager, I think. Yeah, she's gonna...
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah, it will be garrisons.
Hey, look who's first to the Castle Age.
Incredible, man. That's going to be a dirty Castle Age, though. It might seem super successful, but it might... I mean, he's not going to be up first because Nicov is able to click up later, but
yeah.
You know, yeah. But that's interesting. That both are able to click up at this very point of the game, especially Yo. In my opinion, he has a weak economy. That is actually for certain. 46 villagers for Nicov, 38 for Yo, but he has wheelbarrow at least. That is something. But that is not everything. So we'll see how successful the archers of Yo are going to be on the right-hand side. Not so sure if they're going to reach anything here because Nicov has walled himself up.
So I'm checking the, so I could check the wood, food, and gold per minute. To be honest, it's not that different. It looks like Nicov has a little more wood per minute because he has more villagers. But other than that, it's pretty identical.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering what kind of effect maybe the wheelbarrow or the horse collar upgrades had.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that it must be significant enough, right? So they're somewhat on the same level, despite Nicov having more villagers. But it's a good thing to point out that Yo is still able to catch up here. And we'll check out where exactly this is going, because I see bloodlines and scalebounding armor. So Knight's potentially going to be in the making very soon. But Nicov with some last-second gates here to save himself.
That piece of wall is not going to survive very long. Nikov's gonna looks like he's gonna have to defend with some galleys, and he's bringing a few back. This is not too bad because Nicov is gonna have to come back to be able to defend this. But hopefully Yo doesn't lose all of his archers. That's the big problem, as they're gonna get sandwiched.
Indeed. So we got the navy in the back, we got the navy in the front. Not so confident in these galleys, but very soon they're gonna turn. There we go into war galleys. All of a sudden things change here. And also Yo is going for a mixture of units very soon.
It's such a long path for those archers to get around. Yeah. I don't think they're going to be able to get out of there.
Well, they're dealing damage. One boat is going to go down at least. Wow, but the remaining units, they just die. They just die. There we go. The archers all failed desperately. Unfortunate.
Man, this is a big problem for Yo. That was his main army, was archers, but now he's switching it into knights.
Exactly.
This knight transition might be devastating.
Yeah, that is something that the Malians are capable of doing, right? They save that much wood, they can build more and more military buildings in this case. And we have the knights now, they have bloodlines, they have +1. They're strong enough, tanky enough to actually deal some damage, you would say. And that's actually it. Due to the fact that the boats do not get that much of a bonus when it comes to upgrades. I'm just checking it. It says 7-1 on my screen for the war galleys.
Yes.
Not sure what that means, but well,
I think if possible the balance changes show a minus.
Yeah.
Otherwise they don't show anything. Like they have Bodkinera now and it's just 7.
Okay. Right then, so the knights are doing a lot of successful things. Nicov has just lost a lot of units here, a lot of galleys, and more knights are being added to the mix, and that is quite insane. And that is something that the Malians are capable of doing. You have the economy to the back, and at least I see 2 town centers for Yo, and you still see quite some active military.
Oh
here.
no!
That is very much needed.
Oh no! Look at the siege workshop of Nicov.
What about the siege workshop?
Take a look. Look at what he built.
Wait, where is it? My hotkeys are not working, so you need
Siege
to...
workshops.
Wait a second. What is the matter with that?
You see it next to the dock in the town center of Nicov?
Yeah.
There's a siege tower there.
Is that on purpose, or what is that thing? Because I you know, I try to remain serious here, but what is the siege tower doing?
The siege tower, it's so infamous for being misbuilt. It's like the hotkey changes all the time. Players accidentally build it all the time.
Wow. I thought that I just don't see the bigger picture here, you know. A siege tower, obviously, on this map, you know. Nah, man, it's insane, man. Wow. Next level. And on top of this one, Yo is now building a castle over here. In front of the base of Nicov. It seems that Yo is finally able to get the game here. To take over some control, build up pressure sufficiently. And also still catch up economy-wise. That is great.
I think 2 things. I think this knight transition from Yo was brilliant. A really good choice. They're quite effective against all the galley-type units. And obviously Nicov didn't invest anything in towards like pikemen or archers, which would deal with knights. And second, the map control. Just this base on the right, the position is so good that Yo was able to pressure with the archers. Sure, he lost them, but kept Nicov at bay. And then when he went with the knights are able to do damage right away. And I really love that position of Yo. Yo has the map control, and that's so big in Age of Empires too.
Yeah, that is so important. And as you said, the switch into the knights, that was really nice. And we even see some siege now as well. The Rams are marching forward. That's going to be such a tough thing for Nicov to address all these different issues, just having access to Navy here. And therefore, well, it's going to be a tough one. One thing that Nicov is doing correctly is quick walling here, and that he's trying to keep the core that he has as safe as possible. But as you said it, that is not going to win him the game, because the map control is really, really valuable in this very game of Age of Empires, and Yo certainly has it in his hands. So with that one, Nicov needs to have some kind of plan here. This situation that he is in is not going to win him the game. He needs some solution.
Well, I think that solution is probably going to be maybe a few monks and then also raiding with the galleys. If he can get some good raids, he can even this thing up. I think at this point, Yo has a superior economy with all those eco upgrades and soon to be maybe a villager advantage with an extra town center. Although Nikov's going to build his 3rd right now. So I think raids, especially on this kind of map, on bog islands, can really change around the game.
Definitely correct, especially pointing out that Yo isn't walled up at all, right? He has an open map. He is a completely open map, so he needs to rely on the safety of his town centers to garrison at the right time. Not so sure if he's going to be able to do that while being aggressive, but potentially yes. But as you said, Nicov could go for it. Just let me check out one thing. Dude, oh no, he knows about the position of Yo's main TC potentially. He's going for somewhat the right direction. He's just anticipating the wrong thing. He's going to the very south of the map with his navy, by the way. Not so sure if that's on purpose, but he's guessing where Yo is and actually going to the completely wrong direction now.
Yeah, actually, Yo expanded his base to the left, which kind of makes that castle a little bit more useful, helps protect that area. You would normally expect Yo to expand to the right, but he didn't. One thing I did want to point out, it's pretty nice for Yo that he's got all these. Sorry, for Nicov, that he's got all these galleys, and if they ever get any trouble because of the military of Yo, they could just retreat towards the center, where the land units can't touch them. So I think that water control is still very important on this map, even though the Knights appear to be the strongest unit.
True as well. They have their safe spots, so to speak. There's a reason for them to be around here. The question now is if Yo is going to build up a sufficient army number-wise, and he does have a lot of knights for now, 40 knights to be exact. If he's going to be able to actually have a force that is going to harass Nicov even further on, because currently Nicov is just surrounded, but not being under pressure anymore, so to speak. And instead, it is actually Nicov going for some raiding. Now he has found at least some valuable spot over here from Yo. But the Knights are doing a great job as well. If you look at the HP, Nicov needs to kite here in order to succeed. Otherwise, he's going to lose more and more boats.
I think this is going to make or break the game. Yo investing a lot into this push. 3 Rams on the right side and about maybe 12 Knights. And a big demo is going to get a huge shot on these Knights, but it didn't explode. Wow.
Yeah, well, it could have been nice. Unfortunately, there was a moment where it could have just make it happen, but it didn't work. Unfortunate, and the Rams are just soaking up a lot of fire by these galleys. This CC is going to go down. The villagers are even forced to engage now. That's a lot of great opportunities for these knights to get the villagers to lower the efficiency of the economy of Nicov, which is successful because we have 85 villagers for Yo, we have 70 villagers for Nicov. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I thought if Yo lost this push, then Yo would not be in the best position in this game, but these Knights are just too strong. Where are the monks for Nicov? We had no counters to the Knights of Yo. I would think maybe just a few monks in this composition would really help things for Nicov, but we just don't see it.
You know what? Besides the siege tower that he built, this hero siege tower, I guess he doesn't have a single land unit. There's now a mangonel, but besides that, I don't see a single land unit. And that is probably one of the big mistakes. As I said, a monk would be quite a game changer here, or a couple of monks. Why not? Because then you could force Yo to retreat. I mean, he must retreat then, unless he wants to lose his knights. That could be quite nice, but no, nothing of this is going to happen because Nicov desperately wants to solve the situation with his navy, demolition rafts, and also the war galleys. That's his type of being here, but we see that it's not necessarily working because the knights are still persistent, constantly trying to push through.
Yeah, and actually the demos aren't doing too bad of a job. It looks like Yo's going to try to get up with the castle on the right side, and going to bring some more villagers from the left. If Nicov desperately needs to deny this castle.
For certain. I mean, at the moment, there's the right timing for that one because there's not a single villager inside. Oh, there we go. And now there's now a group of 7 villagers going forward. And that is the momentum for Nicov to do actually something about this. He can deny this, but the Knights of Yo are determined to make it happen. We'll see where this is going to go.
And it doesn't look like he's going to be able to deny this. He's going to have to do like some sort of super sneaky demo, but during all of this time when Yo is raiding, most of Nikov's economy is in this area. I just see 43 villagers from a quick box that I dragged around there, and all of these villagers have been very idle during this whole time. And with this castle, that's really going to cement the map control for Yo, and Yo is going to be able to raid Nicov from every angle that he chooses, and there's the GG.
There we go. Basically, it's this very castle on the right-hand side. It sealed the deal. As you said, it cemented it. The ground that Yo has won with that one. Left-hand side was already GG. Right-hand side was taking over, and there was not much to do anymore. It was a beautiful game by Yo, gotta be honest. It started strangely with this one villager dying to a scout because of the dark and whatnot, but still, ever since Yo, constant aggression. Something that he tried to do in the first game as well, but it was not successful. But this time, was really well done.
A very excellent game, a very entertaining game. I would like to say that this is kind of the Yo that I know. The Yo that I know plays is able to, be on another level. I think from some of these other players. Most players would not have been able to come back in this situation. We saw a lot of good engagements from Yo, a lot of crafty plays. That are pretty signature to him. I just wish you know, nowadays might cut down on some of the mistakes, like not building villagers, losing the villager early on, but that's kind of what you get with Yo nowadays. But if Yo is at the top of his game, I think he could really knock off any player, even if he's behind in the game. He's a very deadly player.
For sure. For sure.
And
He was,
I just like to see him clean up these mistakes a bit.
There we go. And yes. All right. So Eamon has posted the link as well on my chat how the map looks like. We've seen this map yesterday. So I just go for all G. Are you in the game, man?
Yep, I'm in the game.
All right. So welcome everyone. DemEyesRed here. I'm being joined by Nobody41, and this is the third game of the MSC Week 3 matchup with Yo and Nicov, and it's going to happen on Marshland. And this is the game where yesterday something really epic happens, but we're going to elaborate on this one in a second. We're going to have Britons vs Japanese. What are your thoughts, man?
I love this map. This map is awesome. This is the first time I've seen it, and man, this is a crazy map.
For sure, man. For sure. A lot of laming can happen, first of all. A lot of laming because they're spawning so close together. There's this aspect of elevated TCs. You have some nice berries. Actually, Franks on this map could work well, just in theory. You have these interesting wood lines that ask to be tower rushed, actually. So we'll see how this is going to go. Yo has Japanese, by the way, so he might want to go for med arms, maybe plus towers. We're going to see. Nicov, though, probably going to counter this with his ranged units of the Britons. Interesting choice.
Oh man, I really love the Japs on this map because they'll have that great economy with the mills, lumber camps, and mining camps 50% cheaper. They'll be able to get a dock and get faster fishing ships, and they'll be armored as well. And then you also have that men-at-arms rush, which goes so well with towers. That's just, those three bonuses together, just, those are really, that's a really strong civilization.
Yeah. So,
and then for the Brits,
we'll see.
I think the Britons are more of a defensive style. You need to get your archer ranges up. You need to get some walls up. I just don't see that on this map.
So someone says there's no stone in the middle, guys. Exactly. The stone is on the outer part, and we have the gold in the middle part. But still, you can go for a single tower, at least drop it somewhere. You have 200 stone to begin with, so it's certainly not impossible. But we'll see. We'll see. We see this early walling by Yo here. A lot of walls here, but we see the palisades and houses being already up here to make sure that Nicov is not going to be able to just push in through the middle. Something else needs to happen. Docks are now in the making as well. It seems that Nicov might have the advantage timing-wise to kick in with a fishing boat slightly earlier. Not that it is going to matter too much. We're going to see. But besides that, it's an interesting match. It's going to be really nice, this map, how it's going to work. Hopefully, we will have a long one, because yesterday it was not too long. It was Viper versus MBL. It ended really fast because of Viper's sick counter lame that he did to MBL. So I'm expecting only the greatest things on this map with these skilled players. Britain's Japanese excited.
Yeah, interesting thing, Yo placing his dock all the way in the north side, so both docks are almost, they're on the same half of the little island there. Nicov probably not going to anticipate that. I wonder if Nicov is going to send his galley down towards the south side, and that could be potentially a big advantage if Yo is able to attack the fishing ships of Nicov first. But look at this. Yeah. Nicov is actually going to scout it.
Yeah,
wow.
There we go. There we go. Wait a second, let me just show it like this. You just missed it there. My god, man. Unfortunate. Nicov just missed that dock.
Oh, that is huge. That is huge, man.
Yeah, certainly unfortunate there for him. That's actually quite some valuable information to know where the enemy dock is, especially that early on, to plan ahead, to make sure that you can actually count this one in, whatever you're going to do.
This has got to throw Nicov off so much, though. Like, because if you don't see the dock of Yo and you scout all the bottom side, there's no way you're going to think the dock is in that little corner in the north. You're going to think like something tricky is up.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. Potentially, yeah. It could mislead you, that's for certain. So as a matter of fact, Nicov has gotten Loom earlier. He's going to click up with a villager less. 19 villagers, 3 fishing boats, the 4th is in the making. And that is quite early, you would say. But of course, getting these water buffaloes as early as possible is a nice thing. And with that one, just curious what exactly is going to happen. See, villagers going for the gold really fast here. So it can be galleys, it can be archers, a lot of things are possible, but I guess it will be archers here. The barracks is now in the making. It can be quite nice. We'll check it out.
Oh, I was really not expecting archers. I was expecting a galley war. That's different.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's different for sure. It's would have expected.
And this
something else
probably
as well.
wouldn't happen without these balance changes, because those archers are going to have to go in the shallow area, and I guess they're just not going to be afraid of the galleys any longer.
Yeah, especially with them being nerfed heavily in this tournament, for sure, for sure. Therefore, archers, it's going to be right away. I mean, the archers will have a huge impact early on in the game due to the fact that the enemy is so close, right? So, non-mounted units are actually quite strong in a situation like this because they don't have to travel for that long. The archers can be just active right away. 2 villagers are prepared, dropping the arch range right in front of the TC, my man. Look at this beautiful view.
Well, there's no chance they're going to get destroyed by men-at-arms there. If that was to happen.
So certain. Nope, not in this game, man. Alright, and what is Yo actually gonna do? That's the big question here. That's the big question. He's not on gold. He is on gold. There we go, 4 villages. But he's actually going for water right away. So is Nicov, of course. He's gonna go for a mixture. He's going for the fire galley as well as the archers. But for Yo, it's solely the navy that is going to matter, it seems, with 2 docks.
Yeah, and Nicov not finding that dock. Even at this stage, I think that does throw Nicov a little bit off. I don't know if he would have made that archer range right next to the town center if he wasn't suspecting like men-at-arms or something along those lines. But either way, Nicov is going to move himself out with this archer, and he's actually going to go the long way around. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, we'll check it out. I mean, he's taking a nice detour there. Not so sure what exactly the plan is. He's even moving to the shallow now. What's the plan here, man?
I have no clue. It looks like they're going to go around the back, and that could be a potential good target, that lumber line, eventually on the right side.
True, he knows about this one, so he's going to go there. And also what Timo has been saying, some quick fletching. There we are. The archers are going to arrive. That's going to be hurtful already. Let's see.
Yeah, 2 archers could definitely kill a villager. Certainly, these villagers are going to have to run, and that's going to idle a lumber line.
Oh, yeah.
For Yo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 8 villagers idle like that.
Oh, my God.
Hurtful.
Yo has 500 wood. Look how much wood he has. That's ridiculous.
What is he going to do with that one? Why did he have that many villagers on wood for
He almost has 250 of every resource.
I mean, I guess the plan was actually to go for more navy, but he actually is adjusting now because he's not producing any navy unit anymore. He just has 2 fire galleys harassing the fishing boats of Nicov. But as the tower is close by, that's actually an excellent idea over here to protect these fishing boats. And yeah, it seems that there is a change. He switches from navy to skirmishes. That's the big idea. Even though he's heavily on gold, so it might be just archers and skirmishes. We'll check it out. A lot of floaters on gold.
This map is so hard to balance your economy because those lumber lines, they can run out. You might have to run your villagers. So the wood is hard. There's no space to build farms, and the fishing ships are constantly going to be... there's going to be a lot of variance in how far they have to move and how you have to rebuild your docks. And then since the golds and stones are so far away, it's hard to readjust the villagers. So that's why I guess we're seeing a lot of eco imbalance even early on.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. That's a good explanation there. Quite some unbalanced economy, especially for Yo, because he's readjusting and it's quite hurtful. He has that many villagers on gold. That's way too much for a single archer range working, producing archers. Whereas Nicov seems to have a stabilized situation because he's not the one being pushed away. Obviously, with 2 archer ranges constantly producing archers, I guess it's going to be really tough for Yo. I'm not so sure if I like Yo going for archers. Maybe directly going for skirmishes is the better choice, but we'll see.
A big fight happening in the north. It looks like 2 fishing ships, or maybe looks like just 1 fishing ship going down for Yo. Nicov backing away with his archers. Archers are now harassing the woodline. Look at how many idle villagers Yo has.
It's insane, man. It's insane. At this point, it just says it was up to 5, but there's potential for more and more idols. Yeah, they're moving away. Just 3 archers idling this entire woodline. Yeah, Yo is under pressure because this is Nikov's type of game to take over the control now. It's something he enjoys for sure at this point because Yo completely reactive, suffering a lot economy-wise, going well for Nicov for sure.
And I think this is of Yo's own making. Yo had enough resources to drop down the archer range very early. Didn't do so, banked up a lot of resources when he didn't have to, and that's why he's at such a big military disadvantage now.
That's not going too well. If I look at these villagers, there's not even a close by lumber camp. This is so inefficient what Yo does, what he has to do. Now, actually regrouping the villagers with a house there, but Nicov is gonna continue like that. And we finally see some skirmishes in the making. A bit too late if you ask me, because Nicov has that many archers that he can even take the fight against a couple of skirmishes like that. It's looking really, really grim. Even though Yo is going crazy on water, he has 4 galleys ready, 4 fire galleys, even a normal galley in the making. Well, looks interesting on water, but I guess the land is going to matter as well, especially in these times. Nicov might build up more of an advantage here if it continues like that.
Normally, if you see this kind of situation where your opponent is surrounding you on 3 sides with archers and you can't get any wood, normally that's good game. But not with these players and not with this map. Yo has one key advantage that could potentially keep him in this game and give him an advantage later, and I think that's the fishing ships. And I think that's just such a huge advantage that's keeping Yo in this game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as long as he has some food economy like that, it's quite nice. If you look at the food count, though, currently 200-ish for Yo per minute, 250 for Nicov, so he's still in the game, for sure. And even a market now in the making for Yo, maybe trying to rebalance the economy. Yeah, he will buy himself some food to click up to Castle Age. Speaking of which, Nicov is going to do the very same thing to click up in a few seconds. He's about to have enough food, and then we will see some Castle Age war on this beautiful map.
I can't believe Yo survived this. I thought Yo was going to type GG right there.
Yeah. True.
But, he's still at a disadvantage, maybe with a few with villagers, but honestly, not that many. But yeah, I just can't believe he survived that whole onslaught. None of the villagers were able to work.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. It's still somewhat working. Great attitude of Yo to not give up like this. No real demotivation for him. It's just a sick performance, but we'll see how long this is gonna go like that, because he's now losing 3 of his fire galleys. A couple of galleys are still up. A lot of skirms are up. Nicov is now retreating.
Oh, here's the demo. Oh god!
That's a beautiful one. Oh my god. Could have been so beautiful.
Oh my! Oh, there it is.
Still. Well, still. I mean, it could have been more beautiful, unfortunately, but still, at least that's some damage. Yo is in troubles, regardless. So I fully agree. It's tough. It's tough. Yo's still doing a great job. Castle uptime is beautiful for both of them. 4 seconds difference. That's good. Question is, what is the next plan, though? What is the game plan for Nicov? Probably crossbows would make sense. He's adding a lot of farms, though. A lot of farms. We'll check it out. What is Yo gonna do at the same time?
Man, this is such a weird game, because I think Yo right now has such a huge economy lead with those 7 Japanese fishing ships, but at the same time, Nikov's army is so huge, and they're about to be British crossbow with the extra range. So one player with a big economy lead, the other player with a big military lead. It's up to Nicov to do the damage, but he's got lots of opportunities to do so.
Yeah, for sure. He got a lot of opportunities, a lot of possibilities to go for it. So I'm curious about the next moves. Potentially just Arbalists, just make use of the great range. There we go, crossbowman upgrade. I mean, with that many units, would be a shame if he didn't go for it. So we'll check it out. Yo is going for botkin as well as gold mining, interestingly. Elite skirmishes and gold mining is not the cleanest picture. Seems that he might want to spend the gold mining for something else. We will see, but also Nicov preparing himself with a siege workshop. So I sense there's going to be also some mangonels very soon. We'll see.
Yo, on top of that hill might save him. It might not, but this is such a hard fight to take. Elite skirmishers, which, regular skirmishers, which haven't been upgraded, and these crossbowmen are wrecking havoc.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, a lot of galleys going down. A lot of galleys going down. Oh my god, man. All right, so that's good, great for Nicov. That's a great situation. He might even take that fight against the skirmishers. Why not? The numbers are just winning here.
Just one-shotting the skirmishers.
Yeah, man. This is once again a game type of situation, because Nicov is now about to enter the space. The only hope that Yo can have is this mangonel that is currently in the making. A bit too late, currently at 40%. A lot of villagers are migrating once again. Heavy migration. A lot of idle villagers once again. It's a messed up situation, but at least Nicov is not going inside of the base, so Yo can have a breath once again. Not so sure for how long, though.
As he said, that might have been a game-deciding fight, as Yo didn't have... Yo could have maybe gotten that last armor on the skirmishers. Maybe they would have done better. Held back with his army longer to get the upgrades, so he could have taken a better fight. Maybe got in the War Galley upgrade. But he took that fight right then, and Nicov did a ton of damage to him. And now Nicov is up by 7 villagers, and is going to kill even more.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Eamon says Yo needs a sick mangonel. A mangonel that kills a lot of units at the same time. Well, that would be, of course, highly ideal for Yo. But if we're gonna see that one, not so sure. Because this mangonel just sitting inside the base for the sake of safety. And besides that, Nicov is just making sure that he chases Nicov until the edge of the map. As we can see to the north, Yo's now remaining there with his villagers. Besides that, also more of economical approaches by Nicov, adding another TC as a crucial point to the left hand side where he can protect his gold further on. And Yo tries to still do some stuff with his navy. He's going for wall galleys. So is Nicov, by the way. Finally getting wheelbarrow. I'm relieved. But not so sure if Yo is gonna win the game just by relying on navy once again. A bit of skirms, one mangonel. Well, he has the weapons. He needs to use them correctly. He needs to get to the right engagements. Not so sure if that's going to be possible.
Yeah, I really don't like that town center on the left side for Nicov. It doesn't really protect a lot. So at least if you're going to get a town center, make sure it protects like wood or something like that. But at the same time, I just really think this is a really military-centric kind of map. I don't think booming is going to give you that much more of an advantage if you don't have a greater army. Because if you have control of the water, say with galleys, you could do so much damage. And you could just kill so many villagers and make up any difference there might have been.
True. I mean, there are a couple of things that they could improve here, but let's see what Nikov's going to do with the fight on the northeast now, because Yo is there with quite some navy. Nicov has had 3 boats, now he only has 3 fire ships, and the mangonels, skirms, that's the entire army of Yo, I guess, that he is now presenting to us in the north. A bit of a ballsy move, because that's going to create a vacuum in the middle. Theoretically, Nicov could now advance if he had enough units in the middle, but he doesn't do that. Instead, it's just the chase here. Nicov actually in a bad position there with his army. He's taking a lot of hits for nothing at this point.
And I was going to say, I really wish Yo has ballistics, but he clearly does have ballistics, and that's doing quite a bit of damage as these units retreat.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. For sure. And now another engagement. With this one villager should retreat. The siege pressure will most likely not go up. There's a lot of units on Yo's side. And as I said, ballistics is going to matter a lot by chasing these units of Nicov. It's actually really good of Yo. It surprised me that Nicov has put himself in this very situation. It was avoidable, but nevertheless, he's now lost quite a lot here.
Absolutely. Even just on this retreat, Nicov just standing there losing a crossbow and 2 fire ships, and just none of the units moving. I thought maybe it looked like Nicov was going to engage the army of Yo once those fire galleys came in, but I don't know what Nikov's doing.
Yeah, and now he's
engaging. It makes no sense.
When it's too late, you know? I mean, half of his army is nearly dead, HP-wise. He just wasted these 4 fishing boats, fire galleys, so it's strange. Strange decisions.
Very weird. Very weird. Just, I looked like Nicov was about to turn around as soon as those fire galleys got in there, and now he's gonna fight? That makes no sense.
Yeah, maybe the idea was that he will take the fight close to his docks to reinforce nicer, but it didn't work. He didn't create a good momentum, and actually, Yo is gonna take over quite nicely here, because he has quite a strong navy that is able to kill a lot of new arriving units here. Asking myself if Nicov has another plan, actually, if we're just missing something, because he's just
look at that gold.
Oh, these villages, first of all, this oversaturated gold is sick to watch, you know. That's 29 villagers, my friends, that are currently going at it.
This is why I didn't like that town center there.
Yeah, true, you're absolutely correct. It's insane. It's insane.
Oh, wow. Man. And I think we're going to see, I mean, if Yo is able to maintain this water control, he's going to be able to kill so many villagers of Nicov. Investing into town centers, I know you're British, so maybe it's not that bad, but I really just want to see more investment to army. If Nicov had just a touch more army, might have been able to turn around and defeat the army of Yo earlier in this game. And that was really the big turning point here, and Yo is piling on the pressure, and there it is, GG.
Wow. Wow, it's actually GG. I wouldn't have thought this, man. It started so nicely for Nicov. But Yo just held the grounds and survived, pushed back. I thought, okay, it's quite not too creative, not too poetic to just go for Navy once again, but this time it worked like a charm, especially with Nikov's strange decisions, wasting his units for maybe not the best reasons, and a couple of other minor decisions, such as this town center that we were talking about, totally right, was not healthy, and all of a sudden Nicov with a huge disadvantage, Yo taking over and winning the game. GG.
Man, this was crazy. 9 times out of 10, I think a player would have lost this when you see how badly Yo mismanaged his economy in the early game, how he was so behind in military that none of his villagers could take wood at all, and somehow Yo was able to just come back in this game and you take it just in the next basically 10 minutes later. That's pretty crazy. And if you're playing against Yo, make sure you put Yo away as soon as you can, because I think he's able to make any sort of if he turns on the pressure, if he starts to get into rhythm, maybe halfway through the game, he's a really tough player to stop. All right, I am in when you are.
Yeah. Capture age is working as hard as it can. Beautiful. And I guess this time we are in the game. I'm ready when you are.
All right, so hello everyone, and welcome to Game 4. This is turning out to be a really good series between Yo and Nicov. Nicov just with the walls in the first game and winning that way. Yo with some very critical mistakes in Game 2 and 3 in the early game, but then able to bring things back with some super excellent play. And I'm pretty excited for this game as well. I'm really loving all of these maps. This is another unique map. It's very weird. It makes no sense as far as physics is concerned, with the water being on the outside of the hills. But this is gonna be good. Aztecs and Mongols.
Yeah, man. The physics, the loss of physics completely beaten. And also those little dragons chilling on these shallows on the sides, the lizards. It's beautiful. But yeah, it's a fantastic series so far. Really enjoyable. We got Mongols versus Aztecs. I mean, first of all, let's understand this map. Okay, so laws of physics, one story. The other story is you start on this hugely elevated area. It reminds me of Acropolis, first of all. And then you have this middle part. You have a lot of little wood lines as well as gold and stone. Towers could matter on this map. Don't really understand this water on the side, but it's legit asked you to go for a dock and get the water for sure. Otherwise, you're gonna have a disadvantage if the other guy goes there, because you have a lot of deep sea fish, so that's a good one. And it's a mixture between Acropolis and any other water map that has water on the side, so to speak. And you have the shallows in the middle once again. Of course, that is not connected to the water on the side. That is also something to keep in mind. I'm not so entirely sure which units we would see, but the fact that we have Mongols, I'm very sure that we're going to have some fast scouts, some fast feudal age by Yo here. I need to switch the colors. We got friend and four colors activated once again. There we go. But Aztecs is also a nice civilization to play it aggressively. Interesting civs.
Yeah, a really nice. I really love this civilization matchup for the Mongols. And the first big reason is because there are so many hunt. When you balance a map, you can't put so much hunt on the map because sometimes some players going to pick the Mongols, and that's just too big of an advantage. But Yo is going to have a really nice time with his economy early game with all of these extra deer. As well, Mongols is a great rush civilization for water. So they have that advantage as well, since they could go up to the next age earlier. And whenever I see the Mongols and Aztecs matchup, I just think the Aztecs have such a hard time against Mangadai. I know there's only 2 stones on the mainland, but if the Mongols could somehow get to Mangadai, there's really no unit that the Aztecs can make that can counter them, aside from maybe the Atlatl skirmishers.
Exactly. Atlatl skirmishers is a good idea, but Eagles not so much. Especially, I guess, from all the Mesocivs, the Eagles of the Aztecs are the least ideal in that kind of matchup, because they just get garlic wars. I love to say it every time. I even say it up to a point where it's even normal to me to say garlic wars. But yeah, El Dorado,
It should be called garlic wars. That's not funny.
I mean, it makes more sense, man, you know, because of the garlic that just melts through the armor of your opponents. And yeah, so El Dorado's nicer, Korea's is nicer, but yeah, the Garland Wars, man, it's not so ideal. As you said, it's at Lapel skirmishes, that can work, but we'll see how soon we're gonna see those Mango Dice, maybe. As you said it correctly, we just have 2 tiles. That is enough for a castle. As I see it here, 700 stone in total. But we'll see where this is gonna go. Yo already going for Loom, and Nicov already on the way. That is the interesting thing. The Aztecs player clicks up first in this matchup. Interesting.
Well, there's the thing that there are no boars on this map, so Yo has to take quite a bit of idle time if he wants to get those deer. He actually didn't get too many of those deer, so that might have played a big role.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane. We have that much of deer, and indeed not much was gathered.
They weren't lured into the town center. I didn't see too many lured.
Yeah, I see a couple of dead deers on the side, not close to the TC. Interesting. Strange. But okay, we'll check it out. Also, one other fact that is worth pointing out is that Nicov is adding a second dog, and this one is towards the middle, whereas Yo only has 1 dog on the left-hand side at the safe spot, so to speak. Both pairs, interestingly, have chosen the opposite side. So Nicov is on the right-hand side with the dog, and Yo on the left-hand side, so they won't necessarily attack each other on the safe spots, on the safe pawns on the sides. But the middle will be interesting, as Nicov now is going there with a fire galley. Interesting.
Yeah, so both players docking on the opposite side, so their fish will be 100% safe for the time being. And Yo came forward with the villager. It was scouted by Nicov. As soon as it was scouted, Yo went back, and now he's going to go with scouts, and I think that's the best play. I would really be concerned for Yo if he tried to drop a forward, and Nicov would just be coming with galleys and men-at-arms. But smartly, Nicov is not building any militia either from his barracks, so both players kind of know what's happening. They seem to have good scouting information on each other.
Yeah, exactly. That's valuable scouting information, adjusting yourself before it's too late, and therefore it might be a safer game for both of the players. Nicov now with the Navy, Yo with the Scouts. Scouts vs Navy, yesterday it was insane. Man, as expected, this is not normal. The shallow. This is beach. Do you see the Flying Dutchman next to?
I do. It's so weird.
Overing, man. It's overing. It's beach, man. So you can travel between the ponds.
Oh, it reminds me of a scene in like Pirates of the Caribbean 2 where they're going in like a cyclone or something, and it looks like that. Looks like they're like traveling on a hill or floating on a hill or something like that. It's really weird.
Flying Dutchman, man. Wow. Okay, so you can hover. That's cool. That's cool. It's also insane. But I'm not so sure if Nicov was actually aware of this, because why else would he then have 2 dogs? No, okay, he's just going for full aggression here. That's why. Makes sense. Okay, fair enough. A lot of galleys. Nicov tries to take over the map like that. Fair enough.
Yeah, and this completely threw me off. I thought that terrain was land units only, and that completely changes the dynamic of this map. Nicov going really heavy onto the water because of that.
Yeah,
this is a completely different dynamic.
It's yeah, unexpected at this point, but things happen, I guess, and there we go. I mean, it's gonna change everything. I mean, with that one, you can surround your opponent that easily. Ask myself.
Scouts are in.
Scouts are in? Wow, how did that happen, man? I mean, okay, the resource walls there on a fleek, I guess. Ooh. One villager is in danger. Nothing happening. One scout is down. Okay. Besides that, though, what else is going to happen? Nicov now with a spearman. I guess the scouts will now have a tougher time to be activated. In the meantime, though, Nicov is hunting down the fishing boats of Yo.
Yeah, I was about to say, these so many fire galleys from Nicov, and they're not really able to do anything because they can't get to the main economy of Yo. However, at this point, they're killing the fishing ships, which is a big deal. Fishing ship count right now is 4 to... well, it's Actually, Yo's killing the fishing ships of Nicov as well, so a little bit of back and forth.
Yeah, true. I just witnessed it here. Wow, okay, interesting. So both are trying to go for maximum rating potential. Fair enough. What about the rest? So Yo switching into archers. No more scouts, but archers. Okay, fair enough. That might work. I'm not the biggest fan of it, though. I mean, I understand it. The archers against the bolts will work nicely. But they're also slow-paced units. Until they arrive on the other side, a couple of years will pass. So we'll see how successful that's going to work. But it is how it is. Both are raiding each other. I estimate that Nicov is a bit more dangerous because he has double the military amounts. That is at least something that I sense here that it might have more potential. But we're going to check it out.
We see something in this game we've never seen before. No, I was about to say, I got it mixed up. Yo has the wheelbarrow. I thought Nicov made wheelbarrow early, but he did.
Never.
Oh gosh.
Aftermath there.
Another time. Oh man.
Yeah.
Just for those of you that don't know, my opinion on wheelbarrow, I think wheelbarrow is a very good tech if you're farming.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think wheelbarrow is very useful. Otherwise, it's better to have villagers. So that's just my 2 cents.
Now you're right. I mean, especially if you have water, you know, wheelbarrow can be delayed for sure. Should be even to a certain extent. But for aftermath players, they play even Arabia like water maps then, in that concern. So they try to just delay it as much as possible. Maybe with that kind of philosophy to have more villagers, maybe. But yeah, it is how it is. But I also see that Yo is now about to lose the control. He's trying to travel with his archers there. But as said, long way to go. A lot of Dracons also chasing these archers.
Not the Komodos. Wow. What, DemEyes, what does the Komodo say?
What does the Komodo say? What do they say?
I don't know. I've never heard a Komodo dragon.
Oh my god. Oh my god, man. Okay.
I'm just saying we have woo-woo for the wolves. What do we say for the Komodos?
I mean, I can maybe guess what kind of sound they do, but at the same
if this
time...
game grows large enough and we have enough streamers, we'll have the T90 woos, and then some players eventually going to pick up the Komodo. We have the hippos.
Yeah, I guess
brand.
The sound that the Komodo makes is more of a frightening one, and if a human, imitates that one, it might scare off the viewers, and that's how I feel it.
Well, I can do that myself, thank you.
Komodo dragons, man. Yeah. So this is it, man. The Komodo dragons, they've just slain the innocent archers. Before they were even able to kill villagers. Unfortunate. Yo is going for the next stage. 21 minutes 23. Nicov is 1 minute later. Okay, no problem for now, because he's the one having the map in his hands, surrounding Yo entirely. Yo also, if I said correctly, without water, really, just 2 fishing boats.
This looks like an awfully similar situation to last game, where Yo was completely surrounded, having a lot of idols, and it looked like there's no way for Yo to come back. It still doesn't look like a good situation for Yo right now, but I know that Yo is going to have a castle pretty soon, so he is going to try something right here.
Yeah, something must happen really fast. I mean, otherwise it will be a bit messed up, to say the least. The castle will be helpful. The question is for how long. I think it will be really helpful because once you got the safety, you have the Mangodai, all of a sudden the dynamics can change. Mangodai versus the Navy in this tournament is a good one for the Mangodai, so we'll check it out. Bloodlines already in the making. The issue with Mangodai is, of course, they require a lot of time until they're strong enough, but I think Yo will have enough time to actually achieve these things without dying before, and then it will be still possible for him to make it an equal game. But for now, Nicov has the upper hand.
Yeah, Nicov has so much army out on the map right now. It is pretty ridiculous. It's 9 galleys, 5 fire galleys, a handful of archers and skirmishers, and also now a villager lead. But as soon as I saw the civilization matchup, Mongols and Aztecs, I've seen enough to know that the Aztecs really have a tough time against Mangodai, more so than any other civilization, I think. So I'm really expecting these Mangodai to do quite a bit, and for them to be quite a bit of a challenge for Nicov, even though he's got so much army. And this is great by Nicov, doing the raiding right now. If he could get some villagers, that would be great.
He must do that. As you said, he is in the inferior situation if it comes to Civ versus Civ, so he must be as aggressive as possible, just to make sure that there cannot be this very situation in which he will suffer. And there we go. The TC might... Nah, it will go up for sure. Just looked at it and it is built up. And, well, the crossbows are gonna die. At least also the archers of Yo are gonna die. That is something. But the manga dice are in the making. 3 in total. Husbandry has been researched. Vodka and Arrow is there as well. It's looking quite okay. And there we see it. Nicov is going for... elite skirmishes. That's going to be his response to what is going to happen very soon.
Yeah, so a big failed raid from Nicov, losing all of those archers for nothing. Great timing on that TC from Yo, and I think skirmishers probably the best play you can do in conjunction with the galleys. The skirmishers will be good late game as well if you can get a castle, but maybe you're able to just defend those small sections of your economy with skirmishers. They don't have to move around too much, and the galleys will take care of the rest. And I think that could be effective.
Work. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you need to be in a situation where the manga dice are forced to engage in a fight where the skirmishers are there as well. So that's the issue if you have mobile units such as the manga die that can actually avoid those fights if needed. But if done correctly, and especially in the conjunction, as I said, with those ships, you can maybe force these manga dice to do something. And for that one, Nicov just needs to be as aggressive as possible to have a situation in which the manga die are maybe used in a defensive measure. That would be, of course, ideal for Nicov. We'll see if it's going to get there. I'm more curious about the archer ranges, when and where there will be new ones, because obviously the skirmishers will run a long way until they can be utilized in the front. So that's going to take some time.
And here comes those Mangadai. The Mangadai, I think they are faster than the boats, so they will have the mobility advantage. Unfortunately, running straight into skirmishers, and you can see the skirmishers do some good damage.
Yeah, that's huge, because we're talking about castle units vs archer rangers units. Obviously, castle units are more valuable in that concern. Reinforcing them number-wise will take a long time. And the Mangadais are trying to go for something. Yeah, one is down. A lot of Navy units are chasing them as well. Not so sure if it's going to work for Nicov. He needs more army and maybe a better plan to actually utilize them.
This is such a huge risk from Yo. I thought Yo was going to go back, and he's actually going further into the base. He's going to get gated. I think there's one tile free.
Yeah, on the right.
There's one tile free, and he's going to wall it. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Yeah, that's GG for those manga dice at least.
If they got around, they would have survived.
Yeah, at least the boats don't.
Actually, wow, you're right. Those boats don't do anything.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time for them to actually kill them, so they were only able to kill 2 in total. So imagine if there are more manga dice. All of a sudden, the boats are becoming ineffective.
You have to keep in mind these Mangadai aren't even fully upgraded in the castle age. They don't. They're getting ballistics now. They don't have thumb ring yet. They can get even stronger.
Yeah, they can get even stronger. Even able to get a monk here, I guess. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. And Yo is even going forward. So despite, that's actually quite smart. That's actually a Stark type of play. You go to the front with an army, get the attention of your opponent, and you take over the middle like that. Because all of a sudden we have a TC and a siege workshop. That was nicely done. Because a few minutes ago, that was Navy all over the place.
I'm actually really worried for Nicov, because this was the worst case scenario for the Mangadai. They got caught out by the skirmishers, they got caught in a corner by the galleys, and still 3 of them survived and was able to kill a villager and a monk. I'm actually really worried about this.
Yeah, it can be really bad for Nicov if it continues like that, because if there are more Mangadais, if they're fully upgraded, it will be tough. Nicov, interestingly, going for Imperial Age now, and you see that scale mail armor. What does that have to mean here? What does he want to do? He's building more barracks. For what reason? Does he want to go for Eagles now?
Oh, but I don't think this can work. I don't think you can go for Eagles with only 65 villagers on this kind of map. It's going to be tough.
Yeah. To say the least, it's going to be tough for sure, So I'm asking myself, maybe something else? Does it want to go in there with more traction?
I think skirmishers would still be the correct option. Maybe get another armor, get bracer. I think that would be the correct option instead of eagles.
Yeah, he's producing more skirmishers at least, but he's also going for eagles. So it's a combination that is maybe not the most ideal, but maybe that's the gamble. So Nicov tries to have the upper hand by going for all the defensive upgrades so he has +4 Pierce armor in the end. As long as Yo is not in Imperial Age, it can maybe work at least in that very time, where the Mangudais are maybe not strong enough to kill those eagles that easily. Maybe that's the idea. I'm not so sure.
I still, there's only 2 eagles on the field. They are going to get at least one of these mangonels.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And both of them going down.
Yeah, that's some nice value for 2 eagles. And there we go, Imperial Age. So that's gonna be interesting. When is Yo gonna click up? Yo, interestingly, has more than 1k gold. Where is the food?
Yeah, another big economy mismanagement mistake from Yo. Way too much gold. Could have been up to the Imperial Age if he managed his economy a little bit better, or could have had a castle. You could do a lot of things with 1,300 gold. I think a castle would be so valuable for Yo if he wanted to buy one. Would be quite expensive, but I think it could work out.
Man, if Yo just had a better economy, I guess he could achieve way more for now. For now, Nicov is actually rewarded for going for Imperial Age before his opponent, with actually a quite weak economy. At least Aztec's economy.
I think these Mangudai are good enough to clean up all these war galleys. There's been no benefit of this Imperial Age. It's not like Nicov is able to research Galleon. I don't think he's researched the Bracer upgrade quite yet. So there's been no benefit of that. If Yo wanted to engage these Galleons, if he could find a good angle, I think he could be able to kill the army of Nicov.
Yeah, that's a question what he's gonna do. My guess is that he's not even gonna upgrade those galleys for now. He's gonna upgrade the eagles even further on. What I'm talking about is actually the last defensive upgrade. There we go, plate matte armored eagle warrior. So that's the big gamble here. So instead of going for additional techs that you can get in PLH for the sake of the existing army, he's creating this new army, namely the eagles, and wants to upgrade them to make sure that there is this imbalance of Imperial Age eagles vs Castle Age Mangudais. That's the idea. Not that it's a perfect one, but it is one strat. We'll see.
It might be good enough, and Yo might be thinking about maybe Lycav. The Mongols Lycav is actually the strongest Lycav in the game in Castle Age. So I'm wondering if Yo's considering like a big Castle Age play with just Mangudai and Lycav.
It might be too late for this kind of play because I don't see momentum for this. But as you said, he's going for Lycav, right? So it seems that he wants to invest more food. It might seem that he wants to stay in Castle Age. I'm not so sure if that's the right decision. We have this engagement where the Mangudai are cleaning up quite some boats here. Elite skirmishers are trying their best as well. Nicov going for foraging for the sake of his eagles. The eagles so far haven't done too much. Not so sure what's going to happen.
Talking about momentum, I think that the momentum... I mean, Nicov never really gained it back. He got those... Since he never got those upgrades, never was able to push the army. Yo's army's going to get much stronger now with the addition of the demos and the Hussar, and as well that castle for Yo is going to be able to stop anything since Nicov doesn't have siege.
And now at the same time, the Mangudais are finally... Oh no, they just killed one villager there. I just thought maybe this castle now, though. Look at this castle. Could it be that this engagement is a bloody one? There's a lot of units.
Oh, here we go!
Probably engage.
Here comes the demos.
Oh, nice. But
killing
the
a lot of
there,
eagles,
so he could garrison.
Yeah.
A few units died.
I was secretly hoping the demos would kill the castle, but I don't think they could do that.
That would be so awesome, man. Of course. But yeah,
I've seen it before.
Unfortunately, not possible.
Oh, I've seen it before.
Yeah. So, interestingly though, Yo still has a quite nice situation. Now on the right-hand side, getting down this monastery, he's still building up pressure, denying this TC as well. That's beautiful. So left-hand side might be saved by Nicov, but the right-hand side is still vulnerable, and that's where Yo's Mangudais are currently at. Looking at the resources, Yo's still with a lot of gold that he doesn't really spend. And it seems that you are absolutely correct with that one. He wants to stay in Castle Age, at least for now. He's producing light calves. He's going to have those fast-paced units that will chase the remaining ones and will clean up the mess so the Mangudais can come into the middle and kill the most valuable units. So that's the big idea. TC still not up. Pressure is on. Those light calves will counter those elite skirmishes. So that's a great idea. But now it's the tough thing, and that's the aspect of this, how's it called, Acropolis type of future. The defender has the advantage due to this elevation. So as long as Nicov camps on the hill, he can get some nice kills, but we'll see.
These Lycav are just so strong. If you compare the statistics of a Mongol's Lycav and an Eagle Warrior, even with the plate mail armor, these Lycav are probably the strongest unit on the field, aside from the Mangadai. They just add so much to Yo's army. Of course, Yo has to kind of stop the push. On the left side, he's going to lose all of the gold, but Yo still has access to gold on the right side, so this area for Mr. Yo, he can't lose it.
It's quite balanced at this point, actually. On the left-hand side, Nicov has the upper hand. On the right-hand side, Yo is there. But one advantage finally that we see is the existence of trebuchets. Not that it is a good one against Mangadais who could quickly go in and kill trebs. But just saying, at least the trebs are there to make sure that there's some kind of advantage that Nicov could have.
So many Mangadai, and finally they're going to get fully upgraded with the Thumb Ring upgrade. So they're still not even at peak power yet. But there's just so many Mangadai. Somehow Nicov is going to have to whittle these Mangadai down. And I think the only thing that can do that might be Skirmisher.
Yeah. Might be the Skirmisher. Now we see the Eagles engaging with +4. But yeah, I guess they surely need more attack upgrades as well to function properly. I mean, as properly as they can, being Aztecs, Eagles, vs the Mangadais. But that is it. No sign of skirmishes. Just 3 on the pitch. It's unfortunate.
Those Eagles actually are able to tank quite a bit, even though they don't have much damage output. If somehow Nicov could afford the Elite Eagle Warrior upgrade, that would be a game changer.
Yeah, for sure. But speaking of changes, the castle is about to be denied here for Nicov in the middle of the pitch. It's actually quite nice for Yo. He's buying himself more time with that one. There we go. That's a denial, at least for now. At least delayed. But he needs to be careful. This castle must not go up from the point of view of Yo. It might be otherwise really, really tough.
It looks like Yo doesn't have enough Hussar on the field. Again, Yo's economy is super imbalanced. 1,000 wood, 1,000 gold. What he needs is a lot of food now for Hussar. Gonna try to deny this castle one more time, and there it goes. It's gonna be up.
Now, at least a lot of villagers died. That is one thing.
And Yo calling GG. Wow.
Unfortunate, man. Unfortunate. But then again, really fortunate for the game. Because we'll have a full series, right? If I'm correct. We have even Steven now. And that means that we will see the last game, right?
Yeah. This was a really good one. Again, it's still super close. And again, just at different points of the game, I thought a player had a significant advantage and the momentum swing back in the other way. I think these are the best Age of Empires games where you have different momentum swings and players with advantages that can come back.
For sure.
Not every game, not every strategy game or every game you see, oftentimes players have an advantage and there's no momentum and just the game is won. But these are just really excellent games, and I'm really
I fully agree with this one. I mean, it depends on the civs, the map, but especially on the players. But with such powerful players like Nicov and Yo, you can surely have these moments because they're so capable of actually going for these really high-stake situations where they just go in and sacrifice, but get out a lot as well. And this was a really nice matchup. It's an interesting map. The first time that we've seen it was really cool. Interesting to see those floating boats, but at the same time, crazy to see that the Mongols were not able to do it in a situation where a faster Imperial Age was triggered, so to speak, that was not directly utilized, but at some point, slowly but steadily, the Aztecs player took over, and it paid off probably to have those +4 Eagles, and in the end, no more castles, no more Mangadais, and it was okay, just a second. Reloading it.
And I can tell you right now, it's Khmer versus Huns, and Nikov's already going to kill a villager. Going to kill a villager of Yo. And it looks like Yo is going to get out of there. Its KD ratio is actually 2-0, so a really good start for Nicov. Are you in?
Just now, it's loading now. It's going to be visible on the stream in a few seconds. Yeah, I'm in now. Okay,
so this is the game decider. We're down to the last game. I'm here with DemEyesRed. It's Yo versus Nicov. It's a very different matchup. It's Khmer versus Huns, and already Nikov's taken a good lead by killing maybe 1 or 2 villagers.
Yeah, I mean it's sick. I mean those elephants they will be quite strong. If you just get a lot of them up, I feel that they will deal a lot of damage. So Yo's trying his best with Paladins and Halberdiers.
You know what I just realized?
Yeah.
What map would you pick Khmer on? This is literally the only map you'd pick Khmer on, is Deathmatch, if it went to Game 5. And what a smart pick by Nicov.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, you got the best elephants, arguably the best elephants, the fast-paced Khmer elephants. You got the nice Skorpas, and that's pretty much the death sentence for Yo if he just goes in there just like that. But
I think as far as like, if any two armies clash, I think the Khmer will always be on top of it, even though the Huns have a really good army. That said, I think for the way for Yo to win this game, he needs to get some good ratings. I'm surprised that Nicov killed those 2 villagers early on, considering he only had a Hussar. He wasn't able to rush with Paladins. But the way for Yo to win this game is to have a lot of rating, have a lot of, hopefully, map control at the sides, and hope for the best.
Yeah, hope for the best, man. Hope for the best, because now it's gonna get interesting. Yo has stockpiled quite some armies here. A lot of Halberdiers now pushing through, trying to deal as much damage as possible against these elite elephants. The elephants are trying their best as well, backed up by the scorpions. Scorpions can function better if they have a bit of distance here, but regardless, they're gonna fire a lot of projectiles, doing their best. And it seems that Nicov is able to clean up the mess, but Yo does something really smart. He's attacking from the left-hand side. He tries to go for some raid, it seems.
Yeah, he was trying to, but he got caught out quite a bit, and Nicov actually defended that raid excellently. On the bottom, towards the middle, these units are pushing. These scorpions deal so much damage, and these elephants are just so strong as well. Let's see if Yo's actually going to be able to hold in the middle.
Yeah, let's check it out if that's going to be possible, because it's always going to matter where you have those
and demos.
Back up.
Forgot about the demos.
Yeah, don't forget about those demos, right? I mean, imagine if the demo goes in there and takes the scorpions. That would be quite sick. We'll see. A lot of units now on the pitch. If you just look at the numbers, Nicov has more military units, 75 versus 50. That's not decisive yet, but I find it quite decisive to have those castles there. It's a good position, just to make sure that Nicov will struggle pushing through there, especially with the scorpions. It will not be possible. But we'll see in a few seconds. More is going to happen.
I think these demos are going to be critical for Yo and these monks as well. Unfortunately, Nicov not getting any siege that's able to push down castles until very late. Now getting a few rams out. I think Khmer get bombard cannon, but we don't see any of those.
For now, nothing like that indeed. It's just a lot of halberdiers on both sides, battle elephants, scorpions for Nicov, and paladins and cav fighters, as well as monks for Yo here.
And Nicov pushing in, still has nothing to push down the castles quite yet. In fact, these scorpions are having to go back because the rams are taking them out. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's insane. You must be extremely careful. I mean, it's deathmatch. You have a lot of resources, but after some time you need to think about the economy. You need to get a lot of gold. That's really important to spread out to get those TCs up to save your golds. Oh yeah, man, those demolition ships exploding, but still a lot of scorpions up. And it is time now to attack the castles for Nicov, who's pushing through.
Yeah, Yo's in a lot of trouble. Yo's, what, 25, he's 15 villages behind. Now the castles are being attacked by the rams. The elephants are pushing back the army of Yo. Yo has a little army in the south, but it's not doing a hell of a lot.
Not yet, indeed, because the rams are there.
So many rams now.
Yeah, true.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so many rams, man. These castles are gonna go down. This might be a fast game. This is a fast game.
This is, we had a really good start from Nicov, killing those 2 villagers early, and then a failed raid from Yo in the south, which Nicov defended well, and then Nicov booming, and now gonna ram down these castles. And I have to say, probably Yo was not thinking of that this would go to the last game, and that he might need the Khmer for the deathmatch, because you never pick deathmatch in random map. But they are the superior deathmatch civilization.
It's over, man. I'm telling you. It's GG.
It's GG.
That was so fast. 13 minutes. 13 minutes.
Yeah. Fast deathmatch game. I think that...
Wow.
Man, just the Khmer are just so strong. They're a little too strong, but they're quite strong on deathmatch.
So, Eamon says Huns are strong in the early game. Khmer is the mid game. And yeah, maybe this is the reason why Nicov, who's been able to actually get those scorpions up, those elephants up, and in the end, those rams, a death ball that is hard to be stopped, and Yo was just overrun. Crazy.